So, as long as our life is working in all areas across all relationships, we are never compelled to look at our behaviors, our actions, our thought process. In other words, we never really get to look at how we are creating it. Hi, everyone. I'm Meena Puri. I help you resolve emotional triggers at the root so you can live your life with ease. So in this video, I'm going to talk about why mindset and changing beliefs is not as simple as it appears and what needs to happen instead. So when we look at how we are creating it, first of all, that takes already some time. We need to keep seeing the same results again and again until it hits us that why do I keep doing the same thing? Why am I feeling the same way? So we have to then step back and look at how we are creating our reality, how we are creating a conflict in our relationships, how are we participating? That's a really insightful question. When you begin to ask that question, you're going to see you as a common denominator in your experiences and how it's not the experiences and it's not the other person, whether they are or not, it doesn't matter, how it is really you that's contributing to your own experience. So this is when you begin to revel your belief pattern. First of all, your energetic pattern, your behavior pattern, and then the asking, why do I keep doing this? Um, or an example would be like a money situation. Why do I always end up paying my bills late, even when I have the money? Because the belief is there's never enough money. So I want to hold on to it. So that is a belief. All beliefs are not on the conscious level. Actually, most beliefs are subconscious, and we're not necessarily walking day to day thinking, oh, I wonder what my belief is. We just simply live. It's just that underneath how we live is there a belief that is in place. And only when we ask that question, when we want to look deeper, that we can begin to see it. So then, if we find the belief, and that's when we begin to analyze, is this belief even true for me today? Do I really believe that? How can I possibly believe that? I'm going to change my belief. So we go ahead and we change our belief. I'm abundant. I'm abundant. Money is everywhere. I have plenty of money. What happens? You still keep on paying the bills late. And something in you that wants to hold on to the money, there's a fear about not having enough. So the belief, just by mentally changing it, it does not change it. So then we need to go step back. So remember, life is understood backwards. We live forward, but we understand it backwards. And then we may go back into thinking, into the analyzation of how did I begin to believe that? Why do I believe money is scarce? There are other people who don't believe money is scarce. They spend freely, they have enough. I have enough, but I can't spend freely. Here's just one example. So we may go back to, oh my God, when I was growing up, this is what my parents thought. There was fights, arguments about money, and this is what the culture, the community, we are taught that there's never enough money. You have to keep working hard, 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 hard in order to make some money, and you want to hold on to money. So this is a very simple example I'm giving you. I'm just giving you like a track that you can follow yourself for really any life situation and any belief. So you may have heard your parents always arguing about money. There was never enough. So you learned that I don't want to argue about money, but I want to do is never spend it, so I always have enough. So that experience is actually what formed the belief. The belief was subconscious. You observe, you kind of what you immersed in it, you soaked it up, you absorbed it. So that belief is not known to you, it's in the subconscious, but you're living your life. Is that belief underneath that is actually operating the life. So simply changing the belief does not do much, except it may make you feel better. But when you look at the experience of listening to the argument with the parents all the time, that leaves an energetic imprint. In other words, if I were to tell you, where is that argument? Where is it? It's all in your memory. You can't show it to me, but your body remembers it. So even if mentally you may say, well, they didn't mean it, they really raised us well, and there was enough money, they just fought like that, and they made up after they fought, and then they bought us things, or whatever it may be, or I'm just exaggerating, I'm just too sensitive about stuff like that. It doesn't matter. You can say to yourself a number of things. But your body, the experience or the memory of it, the energy of it is in your body. The body keeps the score. So when we mentally try to change the belief, but the body still is thinking something else, has the experience of something other than what you're saying, that's why changing belief does not change the outcome. So you have to go back and really then revisit that experience and integrate it, process it, what I call it, heal it. That's a whole new video, but healing is to transmute the energetic experience of that argument, of that incident, into its highest expression, which is love. That's the transformation. And the transformation is somatic. Your body feels it, where you're able to look at the past or at that argument. You're not going to just whitewash it. You're not going to pretend you didn't see it, but you look at with the different eyes. Your awareness changes. You're able to look at the whole picture. You're also able to look at it and say, this is where I got that information from, but it's actually is not true. It's not true, and I don't feel that it's not true in my body because you go through that integration, that healing process. So until we heal or transmute the experiences that create the belief itself, by changing it, it does not change much. And if it does, it changes for a very short time. Even that, it takes a lot of willpower, and then you just simply give up. It's kind of like saying, no, I'm not going to eat sugar. I'm not going to eat sugar. I'm not going to eat sugar. You're changing your belief about sugar. You know sugar is bad for you. You're not going to eat sugar. The body craves it. You keep saying, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. Then you eat the whole carton of ice cream. Okay. We are an integrated being. We can't just work with the mind. We can't just work with the body. We can't just work with the energy. We have to work with the whole package. So this is the whole package. Under, Tune into, bring awareness to where your life is not working. Then ask, how am I creating it? What are my behaviors, my thought patterns, my actions? Why is it that I'm behaving, thinking, and feeling this way and creating it? What are my beliefs? Well, where the heck these beliefs come from? Then you go back. And we can't even, I mean, the healing process happens when we're talking about healing energy. Healing experiences is energetic healing. It's not just limited to this lifetime. It goes back because energy is not created nor destroyed. Energy is a continuum. Okay. So that becomes a big process. This is one of the reasons why our nervous system, since I've been talking about the last couple of videos, becomes dysregulated. So dysregulation is a symptom. The root cause is all the past experiences have taken up space in your nervous system, and your nervous system simply has no capacity. So the only way to create capacity is to metabolize what's sitting on it from the past. So you make room. It's like if you want to put dirty dishes in the dishwasher, you need to take the clean ones out. You need to replace, right? but we don't know to do that. Also, you're like, how do I do that? How do I heal? That's the whole process. That's the deeper work that I do with you. And this is the whole process that I explain in my second book, Wake Up and Heal, 6 Steps to Emotional Freedom. There's a whole process framework that I discuss in detail here. The book is available on Amazon. I'll put a link below this video. But this is a process that I am going to teach you in an upcoming 21-day experience, which begins March 17th. I'll put the link if you're interested to look at the details and join if you feel called to do that. But it's that process, it's an involved process, but it works. How? Why does it work? Because it does not leave anything out. It does not leave any experience, any part of your being out. It integrates the whole being and it transmutes your pain into love, pain into peace, your fears into love. If you keep repeating the process, that becomes one of the core process that I teach to every single one of my clients. And when you go through that process, you will immediately feel, not just think, you will immediately feel the relief. And whatever snags, whatever comes in the way, wherever there's going to be resistance, there's going to be resistance because this process is not easy. But the resistance will show up. Even knowing that is going to lighten up the load on your heart and you're going to feel better. If you keep repeating it, then that becomes the whole healing process. You have space in your nervous system. You can respond instead of reacting. One of the reasons why we go to extremes, we either shut down or we explode. It's all or none, feast or famine, because there's no space in the nervous system to go in the middle where the work is. It's easy to do all or none temporarily because it's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to just, explode on you. Or I'm going to tell you everything and explode on you. Growth happens in the middle. Growth happens when we are able to have discernment, when we are able to look at a bigger picture, when we are able to have a conversation, when we are able to give and take, when we are able to understand the bigger picture and take a stand for what is it that we want or what is it that we need. Most people don't do that because it's too overwhelming. They don't have the capacity to have those deep, intimate, personal, authentic conversations. They simply don't have the space. That's why you shut down. So that is a process from where the life isn't working, going back to how it formed your beliefs that made your life not work. So how can you go back to that same place that created the belief to process it, integrate it, or heal it? So the belief shifts. It gets shifted from the inside out. It's not imposed like you should believe that because it's a good belief to have. No, you naturally, your whole being believes something different. Your whole being changes. That's what the work is. So in this upcoming 21-day experience, I'm going to walk you through the process that I describe in the book. I'm going to walk you through the exact process. So this whole 21 days, and you're going to get a booklet and all the reflection exercises, it's going to become a template for you to use anytime. If there's nothing else you learn, if there's no other tool you have, if you really want to start the healing process, that 21 day is going to give you a tool. It's an experience. That's why 21 days, because otherwise you can go read a book. Reading a book is not going to do it. That's why I'm taking 21 days because it's an integration time that's needed. So imagine just spending 21 days and now you have a template. Now you have something that you can use again and again and again. So you're not stuck in the same old way of thinking, same old reality. You stop hurting. So I will put the link below if this calls out to you. Go ahead and take a look and sign up. I would love to have you join me. If you have any questions, put them in the comments and do subscribe if you don't want to miss the next video. And thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you again. Take care.